It is time for the semifinals here at the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series America Edition. I'm Nathanius, joined by Cats, as we get ready for...
What?
I never thought you'd actually meow on air.
Me neither, actually. I didn't see it coming. I wasn't planning on it.
You got me.
I wanted to roar. I wanted to roar when you said America. You said America, and I was like gonna go like roar. But then I had no time, and you said cats, and I was like meow. That's what came out.
I'm just too good at the game. What can I say, ladies and gentlemen? What can I say? So we are getting ready to go into our next series. I think someone was telling me to switch servers or something. Sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah, we're on Korea.
Yeah. I don't need to actually spectate in game, but I appreciate that they invite me so that I feel important. But really, it's just in case both of the backup PCs in the back room disconnect from the game.
Yeah. In which case we would go to yours, and if yours goes down.
Well, honestly, even if this computer works, switching to mine basically means it's the end of the show because my observing. There is a reason. There is a reason that Ravi, Jeff, and I fought very hard to get our boy Awesome Sauce in that room, okay? And he has been our rock. I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, certainly.
Perhaps almost as important and amazing of a rock as the one featuring Nicolas Cage. But with that being said, the match is starting. Terran versus Protoss. It's going to be Neeb versus Future. And Future looked pretty good at the start of the game, just saying.
Yeah, he certainly did. He's beat Neeb before. And my predictions have only been wrong once, I believe, throughout the entirety of the WCS Challenger, ever.
So statistically speaking, it's extremely likely that whatever you say is going to happen.
And Future's going to win 3-2. Whoa!
Oh my God. I can't believe you would do that. You just cursed. He's posting bunker emojis. Is that against the rules? In the bottom right. He fears no one. He is Future.
And on the top left, he is Things Neeb. Did you know that Neeb is actually awful at escape rooms?
You did an escape room with him?
I did an escape room with him, other StarCraft people, and me and him, we started reading a book that was completely unrelated, trying to figure out like clues in a book that was just complete. We were just too deep into it. Like, it was, yeah, we were just looking for clues that were not there at all.
I did one.
It ended up being a much simpler puzzle than we thought.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's very easy to overcomplicate it. I did one and they're like, there's like a disconnected phone line, but it like made a buzzing noise, and I was like, all right, I know this one. You just have to say really loudly and clearly operator into it, even if you don't know any number that you can call.
Yeah, I mean, we thought we found patterns that made perfect sense, that kind of solved the puzzle, but then they didn't solve the puzzle, you know? Like, because we were reading this book on some horoscope type thing, yeah.
A lot of the clues were hidden under like a dirty mattress, and someone's like, I don't want to touch that. And I said, well, you know what? I've played TVP. There's nothing scarier than that. I'll stick my hand in there, and we almost solved the puzzle. We almost solved the puzzle, but I drew the line at the back.
I mean, our team won. Our team did solve the puzzle.
You did solve the puzzle?
Yeah, just Neeb and I were completely useless.
I went there with a group of 6 people I didn't know, so I blame all of them for us losing. I got us through half of it.
You did your part?
I got us through half of it! And then I was like, I'm going to work on cracking this safe. And then everybody else just immediately sucked. It was the worst.
Yeah.
We did not clear it, tragically. Man, imagine a StarCraft escape room. Like, it'd make it really simple.
Oh.
Like, the depot closed behind you. The Terran army is going to return in 60 minutes. Can you find your way out of the command center in time?
Are you a Zergling?
You could be a Zergling. You could roleplay being a Zergling, or like you're like some Protoss, or you could be an opposing Terran squad as well.
Cool.
You like stepped into a hive. It's like the psi emitter just got turned on. You have 60 minutes to find a way out. I would do that. Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but I'd be looking for the proxy hatches there. They're like, they'd be like, there's no proxy hatches here. I'm like, there's gotta be a proxy hatch somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, if you don't succeed, you get infested. Ooh,
oh,
it's terrifying.
That'd be cool.
It's terrifying.
So what is this guy doing? Just holding the watchtower he is, eh?
Yeah, no, he's just chilling.
How do watchtowers work? I don't get it. Like, how does this guy get vision out of the watchtower? Or
it doesn't really make any sense at all, does it?
Well, I was thinking maybe the watchtower sends some signal to the command center rather than this guy seeing.
I mean, you would think, but maybe it psionically channels into the unit that's near it.
Oh, that would be crazy.
But that's also weird because humans don't really have psionic potential unless you're a ghost, basically.
And then after you take the watchtower, you would probably like come out and like shoot like all over the place, just like not have bad aim. You know, like you'd be discombobulated.
Like, could you imagine if standing next to something allowed you to see everything around you?
Yeah, I mean, it's some people report like when they go near death experiences that it's like an out of body experience. I feel like that's what it would be like taking a watchtower as a unit, right?
And I feel like that would be extremely disorienting.
Yes, exactly.
You know, so what I'm really trying to say is Terran units should not be able to activate watchtowers unless they're ghosts, because it would destroy their feeble minds.
Yeah, yeah. Whilst ghosts would be well equipped.
So we got a disruptor drop coming out of Neeb, and this is only funny to me because this is something that Future was prepared for and dealt with from Puck earlier, but is not what we expect. I guess, I don't know, not what I expected Neeb to open the series with.
Absolutely not. It is not the most standard I am better than you type build. It's more of a I'm a surprise you build here. So Neeb not very well known for those, and we'll see if it ends up paying off or if Future is well prepared. Again, like if you're a player like Neeb, the strength of doing things like this is that okay, well, never mind. I was going to say the surprise factor. There's none now.
Well, now it's gone. Yep. There's a Colossus being made. Of course, it's expensive to make this transition out of this build, especially with the, I was going to say, trying to get Thermal Lance. So he doesn't really have a whole lot of units. And that Viking.
Oh, my God.
Viking's two-shot probes.
Oh,
this is a very effective method of harass.
I love it. It's so underused, Nate. I think Major, you were saying, is one of the few players that does it. And you do it, right? Like you shift click when they're done.
Yeah, Vikings are incredible harass units for DOS.
Especially if there was something else going on too. Because right there and then there's just the Viking. And sure, it's feeble, it dies fast. I don't even know if you see units, I think you should just never just like lift it, you know? Just like keep it landed until it dies.
Yep. Yeah, no, never lift it. Unless you have the Servos upgrade, which you're never going to have early on, it's just...
Oh! The attempts at a juke there, though. I love that by Future. You know, he was trying to disorient Neeb. I really like that.
He's not Le'Veon Bell, unfortunately, as the siege tank will push him away from the natural.
He's not... who?
Sorry.
No,
you don't watch sports ball, do you? It's okay.
Oh.
Someone will get that reference.
Okay, well.
Good and then someone will tell me he hasn't played a game in a year and a half.
Oh.
It's a Marauder.
One. He's being extremely efficient with the timings here, Neeb. Like, as soon as it's off cooldown, he'll find that little gap. One Marauder at a time.
I love this seed. Dude, I can't wait for Phase 2. I want that tank skin so bad. It looks so good.
Looks pretty good.
I want it. I need it.
Okay, if Stim wasn't done, Stim was done, right?
He's gonna have 3 Colossi though. This is gonna be quite the army.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, he has Stim. Stim's done. Stim researches fast now.
That is true.
Feels like it researches fast. It's weird because it's the same time as like Magfield and Yamato, which we say research slow, but everything's relative.
Yes, indeed. Oh no!
Okay, he was gonna lose the Disruptor if he tried to finish that.
Yeah, I never know these things. Like, I'm a CERT player. We don't kill Disruptors.
Shoot your own Stalker? That's your friend.
Is it? Do Colossus have friends? I feel like, is there a pilot in there?
I actually think the Colossus is a robot. It doesn't have voice lines. It's like a Zerg unit.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Sentry and the Colossus are actually Zerg units, technically, because they don't speak.
Is there a soul in there?
Not in a machine, no.
Disruptor finding one Marine. He's adding up racking up them kills.
It's gonna go up to 4 Colossi.
I am surprised that Future's even staying here, but he knows better.
I can't remember the last time I feel like a Protoss went for this many Colossi. I guess out of a Disruptor drop opening, it makes sense because he had the Robo Base so fast. But it's kind of cool to see. You don't really see it.
Why?
Honestly, I think you usually expect.
Oh, Colossus falls there, by the way.
Yeah, he gets the one that just popped out.
Yeah,
he did clear out the army in front of him, and now he's going to start charge. But I think a lot of it has to do with you want to have almost every Protoss. You still open up with Blink, really, unless you're going to be super aggressive. Like Blink is still the best opening, and then you take the fast third base, and there's still really not a whole lot Terran can do about that.
Talk about relative, though, Nathaniel. Where is it the best Blink? Where is it the best opener?
just being able to deal with, like, mind drops are still pretty meta and whatnot. I think that there is a little bit more of a shift.
It's just kind of a catch-all build type thing.
Yes. Like, Blink Observer is going to give you everything you need to deal with, because there's still plenty of Terrans who proxy all the time. There's still going to be people doing those 2-base pushes, and, like, having map control with Stalkers is nice. Like, the Disruptor drop is cool, but it doesn't really give you a whole lot of sustained damage, you know? Like, you've delayed all of your tech, all of your actual tech, to have a specific type of tech that maybe gets you some big scores, which in this game, it hasn't. So this could be problematic, because we talk about that charge upgrade, and it is done, but, like, remember the game earlier when we talked about how Puck couldn't blink to try and catch the medevacs?
Yes, sir.
Guess who can't blink to try and catch these medevacs when they come in?
Neeb!
Neeb cannot. So he's going to drop all of these units in, and it really just comes down to the Colossus as the big fighting force, and he's just going to let everything come in and fight.
Should he siege now?
No, he doesn't need to.
Okay.
He could, but he doesn't need to.
I mean, is it better or worse?
Siege tanks are better versus the Zealots in this scenario. Otherwise, they're going to splash on him because it's charged Zealots.
So right now they're just soaking and they're ready to lift up
Plus,
as well.
because he didn't siege, he was able to just pick the tanks up and save them.
Excellent.
I know, I really like it. That Disruptor drop is still there, though. This could be big. Yeah, 7 SCVs and a mule.
How many kills on that Disruptor are we some?
We can't see. The
12.
Ooh!
Good.
He's 2 on top of everything.
Yes, sir.
2 more robotics facilities are going to start up. He killed the Robo in the main, by the way. So he's going to just go up to double Robo. He cannot replace any of the units he lost, but he does have 3 Colossi still. He didn't lose all of them.
Make it 13.
That prism, that drop changes. Whew, anxiety to the max.
Yeah. Future's doing a good job, though. This is a pretty close game we have so far.
I love Future's position. He's going to get surrounded by these charged Zealots now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that might have been a bit adventurous.
Yeah.
A little bit. He gets sandwiched by the Protoss. If everything was at the 3rd, then I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know where the entire army of Neeb was, so just get sandwiched. Really and he didn't get to set up either, right? Like,
no.
To where maybe you can, like, push one side off and then kind of Neeb just...
I didn't realize Neeb still kept a big chunk of his army in the main. That was very smart. I was like, I like this position because he's going to cut him off from the 3rd and the natural.
I think you were talking about... were you talking about the positioning or Future's overall positioning?
No, I liked his position in the game.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't think he needed to force everything there. But if Neeb's whole army was at the 3rd, then he can fight with an arc. But when you get sandwiched by charge lots, yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, because people might have thought you liked the positioning rather than the position. I also liked his position.
The state,
but then he
of the game looked fine.
Really bad positioning, yeah.
The 4th base was only just finishing for Neeb, and his tech had been extremely heavily delayed. He didn't have anything else. I think the Templar Archives might have been on the way, but he had plenty of time before he'd have to worry about that.
Yes, higher.
Well, Neeb's very good. The army split was really nice there.
Yeah, just able to capitalize on his opponent's mistake. Really, there weren't many by Future, but the one that he makes him pay for heavily.
Yep. Going for a Colossus charge lot was really fun combo though, because you can't afford to build a lot of Vikings early on. Like if you try to get Vikings before your 3rd base is saturated, it really heavily cuts into your medevacs, and at that point your bio as well, because Vikings are very expensive. So you get into like this really awkward spot, and it makes me those siege tanks are useless because like the tanks could help against Colossi, but then the Zealots show up, and if you're not target firing, they're going to kill your own units. And even then, the tanks are not going to be as efficient as like mines for killing stuff. But you can't really build mines because Colossi are good against mines. So Neeb had a very well-rounded army composition. There was the big moment of weakness where that Doom drop came in, but he handled it well enough, I guess.
Yeah. So what would be the response of Future if you're Future and you thought, okay, like, is this the new Neeb opener? Is this the thing that he does every game? Just, you know, retrospectively, I'm not thinking that he's gonna do the same thing. Just like, what could he have done differently, like blindly almost?
I mean, we've talked a little bit about Ravens, right? You mentioned this with Puck's preparation. The Future doesn't build the Ravens, so because of that, I think Future double GLHF. Is this a bannable offense in WCS? Can we get the rulebook out, please?
Yeah, I'm
triggered. Sure. But if you know that your opponent's not going to build a Raven, then the Disruptor drop, I think, is a brilliant move as well, just because you can't really disable it.
I see.
So, I mean,
so Raven opener would be...
I think Raven openers versus Protoss are really good. I personally don't do it, because I just prefer to, do my terrible builds, but I really like when you watch like Korean players or even in one of Future's games, the King's Cove game against Puck earlier today, just the utility that it offers, like if you disable on the Colossi and then you make that big drop, maybe things turn out a bit differently, you know?
Right.
Because then the whole army just kills the gateway units, and then by the time the Colossus can shoot, all the support is dead, and you can just right-click onto it.
I see. Very well then. Well, maybe Future will learn and make a Raven.
Or if your opponent, builds a bunch of charge lots, you Dorito cannon them, and then they evaporate.
Evaporato.
Just like the water, because it's 89 degrees outside, Paolo.
It sure is.
It's nice.
You were
and
wearing
hot.
a jacket somehow when you
Nice and
came
hot
in.
SoCal. Well, you know, I had to
I mean,
cover up. The
now Weezon was wearing a sweatshirt and Fear Dragon also, so
Fear Dragon
I don't know
only
how you
wears.
guys do it.
Fear Dragon only has 2 modes. He's either wearing a dress shirt because he's casting, or he's wearing that
A hoodie.
Yeah, is it like a Team Liquid hoodie or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, actually, that's it. That's all he owns.
yeah. Well, people are like, why is he wearing a scarf in the summer? You should see my my coat talents here.
Yeah. Also, the Ace. It's a studio. It's a TV studio. We are in a legit TV studio.
Oh, yeah.
It is. The temperature is kept low because.
Oh, inside. I'm talking
Yeah,
about outside,
yeah.
in the, bright in the sun. It's.
Well, I've brought a jacket before just for like when I take naps during the long ZVZs in the European finals. Should I have said that?
Not sure.
Reaper is going to come check the
That's when
natural.
I'm most awake.
There is a robotics facility. Well, I got to wake up at a normal time today, so today was a good day. Today was a fun
times.
day.
Alrighty,
Did
so. I don't think so.
You didn't see it? No,
Nope.
he doesn't know about the robot. That's the nice thing about this map, though. If he dances around, he should be able to find a way in at some point. Seeing that robo will be nice. Not necessarily
Adept
different.
is hunting. I love this. The Adept, well aware that the Reaper could be going around to try to scout for the
Wow.
tech. This is
the
next
big
level
brain.
play. The next level play.
That was a big brain right there. And now the Observer starts. He's building multiple Adepts, which is quite odd. Maybe he's
Yeah.
going to go for a fast Prism.
A lot of effort put into that ambush, but a lot of that is because the Reaper didn't get the scout off, right? So he commits a lot of the time of those units and a lot of his own time and effort to deny that scout and kill the Reaper, of course.
I get an Adept to scout, and then that one dies, but he built another one at home. I'm wondering what the follow-up here is. He's getting a second Observer. Where's the Twilight? Where's the... Is he
Twilight,
Is he expecting an attack? Is he expecting like a little Reaper Hellion cheekiness? Because that is not happening this game. Future, he's going to do a Mind Drop, but... okay.
Our observers are already no.
It's a Robo
There
Bay
it is.
again. Wow.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'm like, okay, I guess it took that long for him to get tech because he wants to build observers and Robo Bays cost a lot of gas, so. Cool, so we are gonna see that again. How about that? Maybe he'll just go straight into Colossi this time?
No, it is much later for the Disruptor drop for sure, and there's mines in play, so the War Prism loses a little bit of its potential should Neeb not be careful, but I have no idea.
I guess Protoss players have just gotten crazy comfortable versus mine drops. Either that or he really didn't think that he was going to go for it this game, because now he's going to warp in Stalkers, but that's just another one of the reasons why, great snipe there, just another one of the reasons why Blink is such a popular opening. Like if you play Protoss and you have like 6-7 Stalkers early on and you don't lose them, and you have Blink, like you can do so much defense with them and then just hold them into the late game. And they're going to
get map control essentially too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what scares me about it, because the last game, it was very much so that immobility that made him vulnerable.
I love this from Future because he gets chased and he moves the medevac at an angle where he looks like it's going the other way. As soon as he's out of range of vision, he shift clicks to go back around. And Neeb doesn't expect it because the last thing Neeb's brain registers is the way that Future was headed. But he's too quick on his speed anyway, so will not get punished.
I'm gonna try and skirt around the outside, but there's more Stalkers.
Yeah, those mines are gone. Could have killed the probe for free, of course, but Future chose to potentially do more damage in the natural at the risk
down
of
on his medevac drop. Yeah, and he did not win.
Yep.
So it is just a faster switch into the Colossi with +1 attack. I think if he wants to line it up with +2, he should start the Twilight soon. Thing is, Future's been playing this way that gives him pretty fast in the double Marauder production. It's really good at sniping those Colossi. It makes me nervous because if you play Protoss, you don't think that my analysis here is crazy, because as someone who's tried to build Colossi and a Terran player just right-clicks on it, you're like, oh my god, I almost saved it, but then it dies and everything else evaporates because you don't have charge, you don't really have upgrades, you don't have blink, you're like, oh my god, everything just has to stand and deliver, and you die.
That's your backbone.
And that's what I was worried about in the last game, that then Neeb got charged at like a good time, and then by the time that he tried to make that push, there were a ton of Zealots. But with the lack of a Twilight, you do put everything on the Colossi to win the game for you, because this army will kill everything that Neeb has, sans the Colossus, if he's able to get rid of it first.
Will he be able to? Neeb choosing to engage outside, which I'm not sure is the best idea, or is it? I don't know.
This reminds me of when he played Puck on this map, actually. The third
oh
base.
Man, nice!
Third. Yeah, there you go. If he had gone straight to the third base, then there's a chance to deny it here, but pushes that army back. And if you had Blink here, this is when you see the Protoss usually chase and kill both of the medevacs, but he should be able to boost those out.
Yeah, and I think that's why Neeb was choosing to engage outside, was to protect his third more than his natural. If he was looking to just protect his natural, then I think tucked inside is better for the choke, right? With the Colossi and Sentries.
Yes, yes, I completely agree.
All right, so
another starport on the way and a third command center. Now, it's very hard to build those Vikings. Look at the units that he's making right now. No bio. He just now starts another Marauder, so it's going to cut into his normal production. You do need to be cautious in that department, since Protoss players will, generally speaking, try to switch into Storm once you start that preparation. But I do like the drops. I like his gutsy plays.
Yeah, but there's an observer. I was going to say I would have loved to see a fake drop, like a couple of empty medevacs.
Yeah, I still don't even think this is that bad, only because, well, there's units there, but if there isn't anything there, think about it this way.
Well, that's why you want the empty ones.
Yeah, but think about it this way as well. There's no blink, right? So what's the risk? There's no Stargate, no blink. Unless you literally fly into the Stalkers, you should always be able to pull out in this scenario.
Yeah, I mean, the only risk is the time that you're wasting, right? Time is precious because Neeb already has a third established, and because Neeb has the power of Neeb. Yeah. And also pretty strong tech moving forward. But Future is now looking for a transition himself in the Ghosts. I think he would have liked to do a little bit more damage, though, with this whole thing. He did kill a few probes at the third, though.
Yep. This gets tricky. Like, all the anti-Colossi stuff, but then the attack upgrades on the ground, which is also highly unusual, that prioritize the attack. Because you get it for the Colossi, but then you're also building a lot of Zealots, and they benefit from like really heavily chrono boosting the armor upgrades. So what Neeb is doing to me is a bit fascinating. But he's forcing such a response on the air in terms of Viking count.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a ton of Zealots that are going to be able to really get into the ground army if those Colossi deal damage. But at the same time, if he gets Ghosts preemptively, I think he's in an okay spot, because A, he should get the Shockwave upgrade as soon as possible. That upgrade is amazing. And B, okay, now he's going to go Liberators. That was my biggest concern. I'm like, I think you want to get some Liberators in here, because the ground army is going to be a problem, not just the Colossi.
Yes, indeed. I do wonder, man, like seeing these observers all over the place, it seems like the Raven is like, if Future got a Raven, I feel like he would just be so much better, right? Like, I'm not saying like always get a Raven, but maybe once in a while, because it seems like his play also lends itself to, yeah, if you don't see him, he's very aggressive, very much proactive with those medevacs. I feel like he would really benefit from clearing those observers.
This was perfect. Adepts in both bases, Zealots in the main with the Prism. As a Protoss player, that observer saw everything outside the third, fourth area, whatever you want to call it. See the Terrans leaving their base? Send the Prism in, warp in 30 to 50 Feral Zealots and start cleaning house. Now all Neeb needs to do is defend this attack. He's killed 29 SCVs on the other side of the map. If he does not die here, he's in a great spot. Those Vikings are DED, and he still has one Colossus standing with the 2 Disruptors as well. So diving on this army is also a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He pushed in very far forward with those Vikings, so he didn't have the option to retreat. There's the Liberators on the SCV pool. And I mean, this is the right choice as far as future is concerned, but does he have any choice?
GG. Well, we just saw, very simply put, Neeb just did the smart thing. On that map, you can hide air units, which is great for Terran with drops, and we saw, we kind of tried to go around the outside of the bottom. On the other hand, those Adepts, because he went for attack upgrade instead of armor upgrades, 2-shot SCVs, doesn't have resonating glaives, doesn't matter. 2 Adepts in natural, 1 Adept at the 3rd base. Then the Prism gets inside of the main, and you have this whole big army that just moved out, and that Prism arrives like in between production cycles, so you don't have anything that's finishing. That's it. You're
Checkpoint.
dead. You're halfway across the map. There's a bunch of Zealots in your main. What are you going to do? You're going to stim and run home while the Protoss takes their 4th base and goes into Storm? No, the game is already over, so you have to attack. Attack doesn't work. As you said, checkmate.
Yeah, it sets his win condition really nicely, really very clearly. This is something that Neeb does consistently, right? Like knows, values information. He sees you moving out, he moves in. Yep. And basically says, okay, kill me or you lose.
If a Prism warps Zealots in on top of your barracks, majority of the time, you're dead. If your army is there, like at home being defensive, you can run back and defend against it. But like when you put your supply into bunkers, you're taking stuff out of your army, and you, as the Terran, you are supposed to try and put that pressure on the Protoss, right? So it makes it really difficult. Like the ideal thing to do is, and you can kind of try to time this out where you like maybe wait for a production cycle to be finishing, but don't rally your units across the map when you're trying to make a push like that, because that's when the Prism gets you. Like if your units are kind of just out. I think about it very similarly to Terran versus Terran with the drops. Like if you're going to make this big push, do it. You gotta keep the reinforcements at home and rally them to where you think the most vulnerable position is. Like if you think they're going to counter drop, you rally your Marines like the end of your base in your main, or in that scenario, keep it by the production in case a Prism shows up. I don't know.
I mean, it's difficult.
He got blindsided. The observer that he had outside the base, he was like, all right, I'm just going to wait for him to be halfway across the map.
Both of the observers on the offense, the observer also gives away all of his plans, right? Every time.
Yep.
So it's hard-pressed to find opportunities this future. Great with the positioning is Neeb. Great with the anticipation is Neeb. And I mean, it's not like he has to guess. He sees exactly what's going on. He sets up to abuse it. And as soon as he gets the opportunity, he does.
Yeah. And that is one of the most standard plays in a Protoss playbook, by the way. If you play Toss, and you play a good mid-game versus a Terran, any Protoss worth their salt, you should always look for that opportunity. If they don't have a Raven, and they don't kill your observers in the middle of the map, if you see that the Terran is halfway across the map to you, and you think that there's a chance you can hold, take the chance, dump your next Warpin into a Prism in their base. Like, there are some players that I used to hate playing against on like ladder and stuff. Like I remember like back when like Desra would play. As a Terran player, there is nothing more frustrating than the Protoss who just, even if they use hallucinations, like they're just very aware.
Yeah.
They play a little bit greedy, and then but they have the Prism early too. Like the Prism is not like, oh, he just barely got there.
Yeah.
You hide it there.
Right.
And the moment that the Terran steps outside of,
it's very similar to how Searle uses Niduses, right?
Yes,
it's
exactly.
The same exact tool. So yeah, like most things in StarCraft, you want to be proactive with your timings, right? You get your upgrades if you're planning for an attack. If you're leaning up with an if you're leaning into an army, you get your upgrades. That's a good time to go. War Prisms, Nidus, Overlord drops, anything that's like kind of counter-attacky, those are usually like you want to be patient instead.
yes,
You don't gain value from doing it earlier. Like a lot of people make the mistake, say when they play Terran, of, oh, I made my Liberator, I should use it right away. No, you gotta wait until there's something else going on, because otherwise the attention of your opponents will not be diverged. So you have to be mindful of the player and not just your own gameplay and the human limitations at play, right? And Neeb was excellent at that. I mean, yes, he had the War Prism, and yeah, you're a Grandmaster Protoss, pretty basic. Now, if you're, I don't know, Hearthstone, you probably have a run-by going on. Neeb has 2 and the War Prism at the same time, and it's just like,
yep.
Okay.
He hit every base. That's it. It wasn't even just the Prism.
Yeah.
So
He was ready on 3 different fronts to go as soon as Future leaves. So just excellent gameplay from the Sunderheft.
sometimes we have this conversation about like what kind of shape we think Neeb is in Challenger, and I think very recent times Neeb's looking good.
Winning shape, I would say, yeah.
He seems to be in his championship form, as it were.
He really does.
Which has me excited, obviously, because we're going to be seeing Neeb in WCS Montreal in a few weeks, as well as Future. So he might get another crack at it.
Can I get that again? The Montreal?
Montreal. You're not supposed to. There's no hard sounds in it. You just got to roll the whole word out. That's how they told me.
There's no way anyone would be able to tell it's Montreal that you're
unless
saying.
you were from there.
Or what?
Yeah.
Really?
That's how they said it. They're like, Nate, you gotta go. You gotta say. We want
Montreal.
people.
Montreal.
Montreal. Yeah.
Okay, that's a little more French. You gotta give it a
like
little bit of
Montreal is about the most American way you can say it.
Montreal.
Or American, I
Montreal.
should say, to differentiate.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. No, but they're like, when I was hosting it, they're like, the first thing that you say should be like, bienvenue Montreal. I'm like, okay. You know, either that or it's just the spirit of Apollo coming back to get me because he would purposely mispronounce Yun shipping. Yun shopping.
Yun shopping.
That poor Marine gets microwaved in the middle of the map.
He sure does.
So this looks like he wants to poof the snoot with the Reaper and open up the pathway for the Hellions to run in and roast some probes.
Love it.
I don't really understand what makes probes light units, though. They're machines. They're big machines, aren't they? I don't get it.
I mean, they may be hollow.
That's true. I guess it could be like they're made of like something lighter, like aluminum. I don't know.
Yeah, like hollow aluminum.
Yeah, and the Stalker is made of like titanium.
The Reaper arrives late though.
Yeah,
so
you got a
already
boop.
Lost a
Boop. There we go.
Oh, nice,
Oracle
nice. Huge. I mean, that's pretty great. This is the 3-2 comeback starting, as my predictions are never wrong.
Pog. Didn't you say 3-1 earlier?
No, I said 3-2. What? I said 3-2. Why would I predict 3-1? I'm not crazy. Yeah, I gotta make something reasonable happen, you know? At this point, I expected Neeb to be up 2-1, then it ends up 2-2, and then Neeb makes a gigantic mistake.
Remember that
incorrect
patience thing you mentioned? Look at that. Liberator in the main, Liberator in the natural.
Beautiful.
Pnew.
Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't just hit the Liberator in the main, right? Like he gives his opponent a little bit more credit than that. And even if you don't, right? Like your opponent will have two things to deal with. You know, so even if you were to do the damage with one, with two you'll do a lot more anyway.
Look at he's focusing the APM to defend that, and he also canceled a probe that was at 99% because he didn't want it to pop out and die.
Beautiful.
So in a roundabout sort of way, he was 20 probe skilled.
Brilliant. I guess-ish.
From a certain perspective.
Of a refund, but yeah. He did at least lose 12 resources from that probe not building.
That's true. Well, he lost the mining time that it could have been mining. Yeah, that's true. Among other things. But there's 3 oracles, and 2 of them have taken a little bit of real damage. The Cyclone is here to help deny this Phoenix, which is actually quite a big deal because it means units should be able to get away from the starport. Maybe. Okay, the oracles are going to be able to kill the Cyclone, and now the Viking will die. So if probes are made of aluminum, then Vikings are made of... What is the weakest metal that there is, Cats? I'm not entirely sure. What's the most frail?
Adamantium.
If Vikings are made of adamantium, then I'm really interested to hear what kind of sci-fi explanation they have for battle cruisers. Like, what kind of metal could that be when you make a comparison? Good God. Dark Shrine on the way as Future tries to do his little move out. A little bit of a shove, but he's headed back home because he realizes that he will die a horrible, painful death if he tries to attack with these units right now.
Yes, indeed. So we have to like Future's positioning here, right? Like based on what's going on, what has been going on.
Yeah, I mean he's a Terran player versus a Protoss, and he's up in workers, which isn't supposed to happen. You know, Protoss is supposed to be ahead from that chrono boost early on. Seeing this pylon, why would you send a probe and build a pylon outside my base, Cats? Why would you do that? Would you do it for no reason, do you think?
No, you would do it to warp and stuff.
What would you want to warp in if you're behind?
Darth Templars.
Look at that. We are the greatest commentators of all time.
I mean, I saw the Dark Shrine, so...
Yeah.
Some production there. But...
Well, I'm trying to give you an idea of what Future's probably thinking.
Yeah.
Because if you see that, you ask yourself, well, okay, he's trying to build a pylon. Is he going to attack me? Well, he's behind, so he can't build a big army, so what would he attack me with?
Right. It has to be a technical unit from the gateways. That's about all it can be for sure.
Yep. I think he has a turret in the front of his natural, just like he has one in the mineral lines, so he should be good. Actually, there's no turret in front of the natural, but I think the 2 turrets that he does have should still be enough.
Yeah. Do we want to see Future taking a 3rd soon, or is he just worried about the counterattack from Neeb? I don't. Does he would really want to move out?
He doesn't see the DT. He's
Hey,
waiting.
Talk about patience.
Oh my God,
Wow.
imagine if he could get stim there. I don't think it would happen, but
I love
he's going
this
for
move
the
by Neeb.
turret.
Oh my
Ooh.
God.
There's one in each base. SCVs are repairing, but he's got 2 on these army units right now.
Look at the repositioning. Knows what the turret range is.
I don't think he's getting what he wants from this though.
I mean, he got as much as he was gonna get. Given that there was no surprise element whatsoever, I think Future was pretty much expecting this. And I don't know, Neeb was very ninja, very stealthy about this, waiting for the supply depot to be lowered. I mean, you gotta commend his efforts here.
Yeah, he's making him burn through his scans at home, and he's not scanning these DTs, so he could
And
snipe
he,
both
because oh
tanks.
my God, this is gross.
Yeah.
There we
Okay,
go.
well, there's the scan. But, I mean, he removed one tank, and actually the Phoenix could pick up the other one.
Yeah,
at least try.
He's on borrowed time as well, right? There should be another DT being warped in soon, so Future has as much time as he has to do damage before that happens.
Neeb is still ahead on workers, by the way. So if he were to be able to just get enough units to do it, he could. Yeah, and another next DT is there. So he's just warping in stalkers. And Future is stimming units across the map, which while sounds cool, does mean they're going to show up with less than an ideal amount of hit points. And considering that he's behind economically now, Future doesn't want to have to continuously scan, but it is his only option. Neeb GG's out though, because
too much army. He has like 5 stalkers. Yeah. I mean, the DTs did as much as they could, but Future was obviously just gonna save scans and lean on his army advantage. Yes, he was starting to fall behind economically. A very similar situation to what we saw from Scarlet against Astraea, where Astraea did this like really cool moves to damage the economy of Scarlet to put himself in a position where he could actually take the game. But Scarlet recognizes she has the army and capitalizes on it.
So what does Future do to win the next game?
I mean, this time it was a proxy liberators. So what's the map? I'm gonna pretend like I know TVP.
Okay, next map. Some sauce. Please, we need the invites. We need the lobby. He's not in charge of any of that.
Forest. Yeah.
I'm putting too much pressure on him. I'm putting too much pressure on him. I'm sorry. I love you.
You expect too much of him.
It's only because I have such a high opinion of him that my standards are also high, Paolo.
As do I. But yeah. In fact, I think a some sauce would probably know what Future's gonna do.
He probably would.
Like, he's always talking in the back. He's pretty often right.
We made a mistake getting him here to observe. He's gonna end up doing commentary. Yeah. Next thing you know, he's gonna show up like BlizzCon or something wearing like a U.S. flag tank top or something absurd. They're gonna kick me out. They're gonna be like, well, Nate, he knows how to say words other than Kappa, so he's obviously a better pick. And I won't be able to disagree. But he doesn't build battle cruisers, and they're in the meta. So who's your god now?
Yes, sir. So
right.
let me on this cap, he says. All right, so I'm not sure what Future is gonna do. I'm gonna say
Cyber Forest is a map that I absolutely would not want to play past 2 bases versus Protoss on.
I'm gonna say he's gonna make his first Raven here.
Will he? Will he though? Maybe.
Who knows?
It's a solid map for.
I mean, Neeb went for DTs, Puck went for DTs, Neeb went for mass observers. At some point, you just gotta be like, okay, the invisible units are kind of bothering me now. No?
Could be it. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. The thing about this is these games are always so weird. So the only thing that I can say is I expect it to be a weird game. All of Future's games have been very scrappy. And I expected that versus Puck, but now versus Neeb as well has been a jarring experience, to say the least.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so he's going to build up on the low ground. Wants to use that gateway to block the Reaper spot.
Bunker.
Double bunker emojis. Do you use? There's a surprising number. There's a surprising number of emojis in StarCraft. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Can you guys?
Some people are very good with the emojis. I think are you decent with the emojis?
Neuro is
very
not.
good.
I'm
Neuro
bad
is
with them.
very good.
I don't use the in-game emojis. I use the sprays. I use the skins.
You're very consistent with the sprays. Come on, bro.
Yeah. I like the come on, bruh spray. Actually, I've been using the salt one recently.
Oh, right.
I mean, that was
new war chest.
Yeah, the new war chest salt spray. That really is the best. And then you drop the meal on the salt spray when you win at the end of the game. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, certain players are very good. Mostly streamers are good with the sprays.
But you want to interact with your audience. You know, you want people to. It's like a scary disconnect in StarCraft because it is such a difficult game, and because there really is nothing that competes with it. Like it's by far away, StarCraft 2 is the best RTS ever made.
Yes, sir.
People who want to learn and stuff will come on and they'll be like, "Oh, I just want to watch good players play. I don't care about anything fun or interesting." But those aren't the people that are gonna, generally speaking, support your livelihood. So being a funny person and knowing all the cool stuff for the folks that come in after a long day of work, like you fine people in chat who are hanging out with us because it's NA StarCraft, you guys understand what it's like to come and just want a good time, and that is a bit of what Future's trying to give us. Great fisticuffs there against the probe. Yes, the command center's delayed a little bit, but now my real question is: you trade a probe for an SCV at a crucial time, Paulo, where suddenly that adept build time nerf doesn't matter anymore because the probe delayed the command center. The probe gave his life so that the adept could grow up and become an SCV killing command center delaying blight upon the Terran Dominion. This adept, one goal, one desire: to delay the command center so that the Terran is supply blocked because it's built into their build order. This was the ultimate goal.
And he's gonna accomplish it, no doubt about that. 2 Marines at a time, pulling 2 SCVs.
I think that's adventurous.
Hey, wait.
You really want to delay the command?
Yeah, he didn't get the SCV.
I think you really want to delay the command center, but I think pushing the ramp right as those 2 Marines finish is meh. Okay, now there's 2 adepts. Pog.
Okay.
Pog. Okay,
That is the pug move.
This could be it. Can still delay it. Oh my god, imagine that. You're like, I wanted to let you get it even closer to finishing. Guess what's not in production? Supply depot.
And nor
Can't build any
are
more
the
units
SCVs
after
on the
this?
low ground anymore, so... yeah,
baby.
this is the type of move that is very Neeb, where it's like you look at the screen and you're like, yeah, this is... I mean, he could be doing better, and it's like, no, he actually has a pretty good reason for doing exactly what he did, right? Like he's waiting for the second adept, and he still notices and knows that he has time. Now, he may not know this like consciously, but his system understands it, you know?
Yes. Delaying the base here is really big for many reasons, but like as I was touching on, another one of them is he delayed a whole round of production. The supply. Command Center gives 16 supply. It is baked into the build order here. You are going to be supply blocked if that Command Center gets delayed at all. So great snipes on these Marines. Having to pull SCVs against the Stalker like this is huge. Neeb is not only ahead 13 workers, but 6 or 7 of Futures are literally just walking around.
Yeah, there should be an orbital command already on the low ground too, so
they just shrug off the Hellion. Just kill SCVs.
Yeah, there's a lot of red ones.
Oh my god.
No more? Are there any?
Can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this.
Well, he's gonna go Robo Bay, so this game is gonna go a little bit longer. I'm like, man, I almost want to just go Blink Obs, and you could probably just micro kill him with the number of units you could have. But he's been fancying the Colossi today and the Disruptor drops, which is cool.
Yeah, I think Colossus and just a bigger push will probably end the game here. I mean, Future is going for a cloaked Banshee. There's going to be a little bit of a... Nah, never mind.
He just took a Louisville slugger to his kneecaps, Paolo.
Yeah.
Future is by, I don't know if he's got that perk that lets you repair the generators faster when you're damaged, but I don't even think that's going to be able to bring him back here.
Most definitely not.
Doesn't have cloak yet either. So
okay. That's... Oh, never mind.
It's just the tank. The tank should be able to bully this away.
Okay, and the Observer actually gets in range and Future punishes, but the second one is here. Almost as if Neeb had been planning to lose the first one.
He's that smart. Only Neeb could be so smart that he'd plan to lose his... Look at that. He's even building depots in his mineral line to block himself from being able to mine so that his resources last longer. Oh my god, this base is going to mine out so slowly, cats. Sorry, Am.
Sure is.
I don't know. Some fake analysis for you guys there.
Because it can lower.
These are the types of things though, right? Like Neeb's like, oh yeah, I'm really far ahead. It killed the Banshee, but now he warps in here and he could kill a few probes. He's only down 20 workers, so
okay.
He's got some work to do.
The Observer also not turning around quite as fast as it could have, and that's because people are distracted here. All right. Ain't that something?
No, he's got something going here. that Banshee is going to continue to be annoying, and there is a push coming up.
Wow!
There is a push. We have a Colossus about to finish, but on its own with no upgrades. Thermal Lance is not ready yet.
Does Neeb actually have? Are you Scottish? Are you doing a Scottish accent?
I don't know.
All right. I was gonna ask where the next observer was, and it just pulled back because with 2 cloaked Banshees, he could have spread the army pretty thin here. Neeb pushes on. He's losing a lot though.
Tanking. The Colossus is like, yeah.
This one Stalker. Who wins? Who wins? Oh, the Stalker wins! No! They kill each other. That would have been big, perhaps.
If only StarCraft was like one of those shooting games with terrible netcode, where the unit that dies, its shot gets deleted. Imagine that. You couldn't trade.
Yeah.
Now that would be terrible. But Neeb has.
Projectiles, man. Got enough projectiles.
After all of this, Neeb is finally only ahead 10 workers.
Is that how do you see that in the current landscape of the matchup? Is that reasonable? Is that way ahead? Is that a little bit ahead?
Neeb's late tech had me with a few question marks. The delayed blink, like this Banshees and tanks actually synergize reasonably well. However, as the game continues on, if Neeb battens down the hatches, this just gets worse and worse and worse. Because you know what isn't on the way for future cats?
What? Stim.
Okay, I gotta say that. He starts it. But my point still stands. He's very far away from having that upgrade. And even with how fast the research is, this Protoss player should easily be able to saturate those 3 bases. And at that point, you just slam down the Stalker Colossus key. He even starts Graviton. He started a Gravitic Drive, and then he canceled it. He's like, maybe I should actually get units. That might be a good idea. Units. Okay. He's gonna go double Forge instead. He started a Prism and Speed, canceled both, said, I'm gonna just get double Forge. I'm not gonna risk throwing this game away.
Yeah, that's exactly what that means, right? He's saying, okay, I'm not gonna attack. I'm just gonna try to secure it. I feel ahead enough that I can get away with this.
He's in it for the long haul. He's committed, you know, Paolo. So it's hard to find that sometimes.
Yes, sir.
It's hard to find that in life, that level of dedication.
Most certainly.
That Banshee is untargetable at that range. Very frustrating for the.
Then why is it cloaked? Then why is it cloaked? Then why does it cloak?
It's a great question. One of life's many mysteries.
So that Neeb is not watching.
Oh, that battery doesn't cover the north side.
Okay. Nice targeting there.
Blink is almost done though. This Banshee will die in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah. Well, I meant Blink was finishing in 3, 2, 1, but yeah, you're right. Technically it was about 5 seconds. I'm sorry.
I forgive.
A Weesum Sauce would have calculated the exact amount of seconds perfectly.
He actually probably would have. He probably went 3 to 1. No, it's 5.
Yeah. All right, so Stim is finishing up. Funnily enough, if Stim was still going for another 20 seconds, imagine this attack hitting and all this bio couldn't Stim. It's kind of an interesting thing to think about, right? Like, if Neeb were to slam the pedal. Now, he stopped his army for a moment, so Stim would finish in a normal if it hadn't been changed. But I like looking at the games and seeing what would happen if Stim needed another half a minute.
Yes, sir. Now, do we need Vikings here for future? Like, he needs medevacs too, right? Like, what can he? Okay, there we go. That's
we need a doctor because he's bleeding out on the floor.
Yeah, and he's gonna be slowed down. The tanks Neeb very well understands that the tanks don't wanna be sieged here. They wanna find a position.
1 medevac. Neeb's like, bruh, I don't have to fight you.
Oh, and he's stimmed.
Right, good. Oh. What are you gonna do? You're gonna chase him through the tiniest choke point in the history of choke points?
You will not.
It's a bad idea.
GG.
G to the E to the G, baby. Neeb takes the 3-1 victory, and he moves on to another Challenger Finals.
You know what I would have loved there?
What?
All of those SCVs flank behind the rocks and then come in from both sides. I can't believe you've done this.
I got nothing.
That could have worked, yeah?
I've done it before.
Yeah?
I've done it.
I believe you.
I mean, if you want to sink down to my MMR, you can make all sorts of bad stuff work, but...
Okay, wait. That was his best choice as far as, like, I'm proposing that with what he had, that would have been the best play.
For sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you just sounded like it was a bad, crazy idea. Creative, perhaps.
Isn't interesting.
Okay. What you think there's a better option with what he had?
I think the best option would have been to click his units back and forth and like semi-dance them and then GG out.
Okay, so you think there was no good options?
When it was 19 SCVs to 42 probes,
Okay, then.
I'm afraid that
What do you think he kills the most army with then? My play?
neither play, because there's sentries and a choke point. Oh, that does it for our first semi-final here for WCS America's Challenger. And we do have our first finalist. That is my screen. And here is the schedule. We did have Neeb win 3-1, so he'll be in the grand finals. He awaits the winner of our next series, cats. It's gonna be a Terran versus Zerg.
Should be a pretty great one between these two titans of Canada. Only one Canadian will be in the finals.
That's right. We will see you on the other side with our next semi-final.